Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ATR's War, Bedlam Media's premier wrestling podcast covering AEW to WWE. I'm Sam the SLB, future governor of NXT and co-host of ATR's War and ATR Rising Sun. Alongside me today is the man behind X Wrestling's Nostradamus, Scott.
We're back, folks. We had a week off, but we're all back. Well, I shouldn't say all of us. 3/4 of us are back. We got lots to talk about today. Got some pay-per-views to wrap up for the rest of the year. We got some interesting statements by Chris Jericho that we'll talk about. Blood and Guts just happened. So, yeah, should be a fun show.
I forgot about the Chris Jericho thing. Good thing you reminded me that. Rounding out the cast, join us once again, the Tuscan tribalist, the man with all the stats, John the Stat Man.
Tuscan indeed. I have some an interaction I had with a very notable industry just a week ago that I will share a little later on. Have some information for everybody to share.
Awesome. Well, guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and join our Discord. So before we kick things off, a week from when is the 22nd?
That's
a Saturday.
Saturday, yes.
All right. A week from tomorrow, because we're recording this Thursday and this drops Friday morning, is Full Gear. We'll be doing picks for that in the coming week. So far, we have 8 matches and 30 more to come. Following that, on the 29th, we do have Survivor Series War Games. So it is the fall season, a very active season indeed. All right.
It also doesn't stop because on December 6th, you have NXT Deadline. So 3 weeks in a row. It just doesn't stop.
It does not. So where did I want to start? Well, first and foremost, Blood and Guts just happened this week. I was just Wednesday when I turned on the TV. I was telling you guys this. I was like, Dynamite. Gonna put Dynamite on. And all of a sudden, I was like a couple minutes late, and there are a few women climbing a cage. And I'm like, oh, Blood and Guts is on. Dynamite's been doing this thing, and Scott, you're not watching it live, so you don't know. But they've been going longer. So this was like almost 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because the main event, so there's only 3 matches on the show. I'm going to run through this quickly. 3 matches on the show. The women's opened it up with I don't even know how to break this down. Triangle of Madness, Megan Bayne, Marina Shafir, and Mercedes Moné winning 46 minutes, 10 seconds. Hangman Page defeating Powerhouse Hobbs in a Falls Count Anywhere match, 14 minutes, 15 seconds. I'm going to tell you the length of this match and when it started. Darby Allin, Roderick Strong, the Conglomerate won the men's match, 54 minutes, 10 seconds. Justin Roberts came out at 9:40 announcing this match.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
So,
That's
damn.
What did I? I'm trying to fit what channel it's on. TBS must have just not cared whatever was on next. Just go into it.
So
That's abnormal.
I know normally they do a like a rollover, but it's like 15 minutes tops. But my God, that's a long ass time. I can guarantee that my DVR did not record that entire thing. So that it is what it is. I did see the ending. I saw it on X this morning actually. So I know that Roddy taps out. Oh no, not Roddy. Kyle tapped out Moxley. So I was like, well, shit, Mox is losing a lot of matches. I wonder what's going to happen with the rest of the Death Riders and him. So I don't know.
Yeah, no idea what's going to happen. This is what I will say. Actually, I'm going to read Ethan's thoughts quickly. I don't want to stray too much on this because obviously you guys hadn't watched it yet. I'm the only one who has. I thought it was good. I thought it was a solid episode. Per Ethan, wait a minute. He gave me several notes.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me because that's how Ethan rolls. Notes for days.
Well, he gave me notes, but then I'm like, he goes, read this on the show, which I go to. Blood and Guts matches and Ethan picks. Oh, okay. Read that wrong. Ethan, I thought he wanted me to read. So both matches are Ethan picks. C says best dynamite of the year so far. I asked him because I watched both matches in the middle of fixing my dishwasher, because what else do you do when you watch wrestling? You do things. The women's match, and he agreed with me, the women's match is the better match.
Okay.
MVPs of Blood and Guts, the women's, Marina Shafir, Megan Bain, Sky Blue, and Harley Cameron, and the men's is Claudio and Kylo O'Reilly. And then I'm going to read this because he told me to read this one last time. I did not. He goes, the joke of the day, what is the difference between in-laws and outlaws?
What?
Outlaws are wanted. So, ha ha ha, tee.
Jesus.
He gave me a couple of it. I'm just going to read these because I missed this one. Nixie Newell and Miranda Elise fucked themselves over big time for walking out. Maybe JCW can sign them, and we don't need more belts. What's next, a hardcore title or father and son tag titles? So,
yeah, there's speaking of Nixon and her tag team partner, there's a lot of shit going on with that. I saw apparently they wanted more TV time, and like they actually like broke it down, like I guess with Tony and just discussing that they don't want to go over. They just want to have more time on TV, which I'm like, all right, I can understand that. That's fine. Well, I guess they were told that's not really what's possible right now. So they said, all right, we're just gonna dip then. But I guess like the IWC really got kind of super angry about it, like death threats and all this other nonsense that really shouldn't be. Like, come on, guys, be better. Like, seriously.
Yeah, well, I'd say with them kind of playing devil's, what I heard with them was that they essentially, those two are not, they're not notable, they're not super notable people in the wrestling business right now. And they had that match against they had a match against Ty Mello, and I forget her tag team partner. But essentially they did a job to those two.
Mm-hmm.
They lost in like 3 minutes, something like that. They squashed them. They showed up the week after to a collision, and mind you, these two are not under contract in AEW,
right?
Also, so they were going to work with another tag team of argue with whether you like them or not, but they're established stars in AEW, and I think they were going to do another job to them. And then that's where they disagreed. And well, essentially, Tony, one of the few times Tony probably put his foot down and said, "All right, no, we're not doing that. You guys can go."
Right.
And they said that. Oh, well, one of them said the one that was formerly known as Tegan Knox. I don't remember her real name. She said, "Oh, there's no bad blood between us," but she's retweeting all these things on Twitter that are voicing the displeasure for how she was booked on these shows. So I think Stevie Richards kind of said it a little bit best. Take any time that you have on TV in this business is important, whether good or bad.
Yeah, I always hear like maximize your minutes. That type of stuff, and I mean that does make sense. I still feel like them getting death threats over this is a little.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Extreme. Yeah,
that's a little
that's silly.
But of course, former team Tegan Knox, she's probably obviously the bigger name out of the two. And if she wants more TV time, sure, you can argue for it. But if your boss tells you no, or even not your boss, but the person you're going to try to impress to maybe get a contract tells you this is how much time you have, then you probably should just take it, deal with it, and go from there. But now they're not. Well, AEW is going to continue to roll on.
And I think they hurt their chances of being signed in the future. When if they had agreed with what they were going to do, they might have had a shot.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that goes with, not just with AEW, but potentially other promotions.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe other promotions will see them as an opportunity. Hey, they're ex WWE people. Or maybe they'll be like, hey, if you're going to do that with them, if you're going to do that with them,
You do that with anybody.
you'll do that with anybody.
And why should we sign you? Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, completely understand that. But those were Ethan's notes. The only last thing I wanted to touch on Blood and Guts. Where the hell is it? Injury update. Relatively speaking, everyone was able to make it out of the match in good shape, according to Sean Rossap. This is the only thing I saw. I haven't gone any for digging. We were told that Jamie Hayter got a little banged up and may have chipped several teeth.
Oof.
One person we talked to said she was as badass as you'd expect, all things considered. Sky Blue's okay after bleeding buckets. Yeah, Sky Blue. I think there's more blood in the women's match than the men's match.
Sky Red. I saw the picture.
Sky Red.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, for what I thought was a pretty intense blood and guts match, there were no injuries.
That's good. That's good.
So, definitely worth it. Worth a watch. Sorry, I opened up something. Did Ethan send that, or did you send that, John? I think Ethan did.
Probably Ethan.
Oh, talking about Sting's son, Steve Borden, will be competing at Defy on Friday. Well, today, technically. They should call him Steve, and when he shows up in AEW, Schiavone should just say, "It's Steve!" That's kind of funny. All right. Ethan, I'm giving you kudos for that. We're going to hop over to the other side of things. Where do we want to start here? Because I feel like we can talk about the John Cena IC title thing for a minute. But do we want to touch base on the Ridge Holland scenario?
Oh, Ridge Holland. Yeah, we can. There's some stuff going on with that is putting shedding a bad light on how WWE is treating their talent or their former talent now. Yeah. Ridge Holland, I think he was signed with WWE since I believe 2018. He was part of the Brawling Brutes and all that. And I think recently, this year, he went over to NXT.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing some stuff with TNA. And apparently what happened was, I think during a TNA match with Mike Santana, he injured his left foot pretty bad. He had what's called the Liz Frank injury to his left foot, which is a pretty bad injury. It's pretty much right in the middle of your foot. So it's fairly serious, and it requires a lot of time to usually surgery and a lot of time to heal from. When he was notified that WWE was not going to be renewing his contract at the end of November, which is very unusual for WWE, for them to essentially release people while they're injured.
Right.
Usually you don't do that. Like, I think that happened to Test when he was still alive and when he had really bad neck issues. And so that's something that does not normally happen. That's kind of messed up too. Why would you release somebody while they're injured? So he ended up voicing his displeasure of this on Twitter. And he said, essentially, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I'm paraphrasing. This is not exactly what he said. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to pay my mortgage now. I got to support a family of 5. And him doing that seems to have gotten him released even earlier from WWE. So I think there's the point of controversy there on him being released and all that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it seems pretty shitty that this happened to him. I mean, I guess like the one bright side you could get out of this is that somebody started the GoFundMe page for him, and a lot of people, especially a lot of professional wrestlers, donated to it. I saw that I think Chelsea Green's donated, or she before Ridge had it shut down, she was going to donate like $1,000 a month, and I'm like, that's amazing that so many people were able to jump in and be able to donate to keep him in his home. I think his home was relatively new, also. Like Ridge had just bought it recently, and I know a lot of people were upset with him because of the unfortunate accident with Big E, and now with Big E not being able to wrestle anymore, a lot of people blamed him for that, and he got a lot of bad rap for all that stuff. But he tried to make the most of it. I thought his NXT run was good. I liked the fact that he showed up in TNA to kind of invade there as well. I know that they had moved him recently to Evolve, which unfortunately, when you end up in Evolve coming from NXT or the main roster, that doesn't normally bode well for your future. And then he ended up getting hurt and then released because of what he said. It's like you said, it's weird because normally when somebody gets injured, even if they're not going to be there for too long, or even if they are released, WWE will still pay for their treatments until they're literally back on their feet. But for them to just completely cut him off seems rather horrible,
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder if that's a TKO call or a WWE call. And part of me wants to feel like it's a TKO call. Like they don't care. They just, they want to cut whatever out of, whatever might make them look bad. And they're doing that a lot to themselves as it is, but whatever.
Did you also know too that the GoFundMe that was set up for him he had no involvement
Correct.
in that?
Yes, somebody just stood it up for him, which was incredibly nice. But yeah, he had no idea. But he did have it shut down. He's like, thank you, I appreciate all this, and I guess he's going to either repay people or he's going to donate when he's able to everything that had come to him back to charity to kind of give it back, which is an incredibly nice gesture on his part. But yeah, it's still the fact that had to happen is still just, I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, it was like a 50-50 here. It could be TKO. There's a huge chance it's TKO. However, even though Mr. McMahon is gone, there are things that WWE would do, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's still people in place who have those kind of pull, where it makes it easier for them to do so with the TKO parent company.
Mm-hmm.
To me, and I think I'm going to quote Mark here. I'm not going to quote because I don't have a quote, but I'm going to,
paraphrasing from a quote that Mark said.
Yeah. There is a lot of things that the company has done in former that there are people out there who still think that they still have ill intent towards a lot of people.
Right.
It was pretty devious, if you will. And yes, we can talk about the legality of it. You did sign a contract. You did say it was okay.
Yep.
But for them to go, oh yeah, you're an independent contractor, so we don't have to give you health insurance. We don't have to do this. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. However, you can only work for us. And we tell you when to work.
Yep.
You get a job. You do the job. People still fall for it because that's the place to go.
Right.
But then they do stuff like that. Or they'll be like, oh yeah, you're stuck in this contract forever unless we decide to let you go.
Right.
Especially when somebody's injured. And that's something Tony Khan's been pretty good at. There's a lot of talent that has just disappeared off TV.
Yeah.
And it's not because they're not on television, but a lot of them have been injured.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think Eddie Kingston's a good example. Look
Yep.
at Pac. How many times has that son of a bitch been injured?
It's true. He disappears for like 6 months on,
Well,
and then he shows up for 3 weeks, and then he's hurt again. He's gone for another 6 months. Like I forgot that he was even in the company because it's been so long since he showed up.
He's a day one guy.
I know.
well, Tony, I will say Tony is good about people that are injured and they take the time off, and the contract time is just added on
Mhm.
from injury. However, there's definitely also AEW people who are not injured and who are just sitting at home as well.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's a totally different monster.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But in regards to, I think when we're focused on the injury part, where they're like, "Oh, you're going to be out for a while," bye. Like, that's going to rub.
Yeah, like Ibushi or Kota Ibushi will probably be gone for like 2 years.
I don't know that,
or at least a year.
that man's a maniac, though. I've been seeing videos on Twitter of him he's already back in the gym. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude.
All right, I'll say a year.
So, yeah, I don't know. Scott and I have been Ridge fans since like he showed up in NXT. I think you and I were both like, this guy has something.
Yeah.
You know, his cat. Again, he wasn't like bombastic over the top. It's just something about him that was like, there's something here. And it's kind of like he was pretty good in NXT and then he squandered on the main roster. But hopefully here's to a quick recovery and here's to somebody, you know, keep doing good work, I guess. You know? Do we want to hop over to the big news from Monday?
I mean, you kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, so might as well.
All right. So Ethan texted Scott and I Monday, asking us if we had seen what has happened. And we were like, no, I got stuff going on.
Yeah.
And he's like, I said, no, you got to look. Long story short, we've been talking about it. I thought it was a long shot because it's kind of weird. We're just going to throw this in. But again, we can get technical, but they're really pushing him as he's not here. And you guys have to listen to us as the Tom Brady of professional wrestling, if we're being honest here. You know, he is now the IC champion, defeating Dominic Mysterio, and is now a Grand Slam champion, which, if I'm being honest, I didn't realize he never even won that belt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's like Sheamus. Sheamus is an IC title victory away from being Grand Slam champion as well. So now a lot of people are hoping that Sheamus will make it to the finals and then beat Cena and then become Grand Slam champion as well. I like the fact that now that the tournament's in full swing, we have matches with mystery opponents. So, of course, all the internet people are like, "Oh my God, it's Edge! He's gonna return!" It's like, nah, guys, Edge is off doing Percy Jackson. He's not coming back. It would be nice because I personally feel that Edge is Cena's, if not his, in his top two, his greatest rival that he's ever had.
Yes.
So yeah, him not having a match with Cena, it's a bummer, but he's still with AEW, so he's not, unless there's some miracle, swap to have Edge show up for one match or maybe a couple matches. He obviously has to go into the tournament. It's not going to happen. It's just not. But I still like the fact that we have mystery matches. We have one actually tonight on Friday on SmackDown. I think going against LA Knight, and then on the following Monday, Solo Sikoa's opponent is a mystery opponent. So we'll see. It's also going to be Cena's last Raw ever from Madison Square Garden, because then he just has Survivor Series and then Saturday night's main event, and then he's done. Not gonna lie, when I watched, when I heard the music hit in Boston, just because it's Boston, it's his hometown, the pop It made me emotional. I was like, God damn. I'm like, there's only 4 of these left that we're ever going to get of him being an active wrestler. And it kind of hit me in the feels. I was like, God damn. Like, why am I getting this emotional about this?
There are people who still think this is a work. He's not retiring this and that. Look, The Rock's not retired. I go, you know when somebody's done.
This is like Batista. Like Batista said, he can never wrestle again because he had the perfect ending for him. And I feel like with Cena, it's going to be the same thing. He's going to go to Saturday Night's Main Event as the IC champion. He's going to face whoever the finalist is, and he's going to drop the title. He's going to end the way, people who leave should. You leave on your back. That's it. You hit the he'll get his own 3-second tan, and then that's it. Then he's gone. We'll see him maybe in April for the Hall of Fame, or in a couple of years. But yeah, his career, I feel, is done.
Well, I was going to bring that up since he has the Intercontinental title now. Should he have the title during his last match?
Absolutely, I think it'd be a great way. It depends on like who his challenger is, because there's supposed to be people from NXT. I mean, I know Javon Evans is in it. He's going against Gunther. Sign of the prayer for him. But there's other people. Like there's always the people who don't work for the company. So obviously, Joe Hendry is supposed to show up. Yeah. That's another one. He could be one of these 2 surprises that are happening. Who knows who else might end up showing up? But I think it would be kind of fun to have whoever the winner is gets a title shot. Yeah, it's for the IC title, but still a title. I mean, what a great way to say I retired John Cena and won the Intercontinental Championship at the same time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, as good as that would be, to have it for the title match, I think it's a certainty that John Cena would lose his final match.
Right.
Which I would like to have that mystery there. Like some wrestlers don't like to go out, like want to go out on their backs.
Right.
Some want to win. Like there's been wrestlers. I would want the mystery there. I feel like if he has the title going into his last match ever, I'd say, okay, he's probably not going to win.
Right.
That's probably just personal opinion. I would want the mystery there.
No, I get it. Definitely.
Of whether he would win or not.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. I mean, there's still a chance that he still has Survivor Series. Dom might try to get his rematch, and Dom might steal it from him at Survivor Series. So he may not have the title, but for now, I think it's kind of cool that if he does take the title in, I know a lot of the kids obviously are still going to think that Cena's going to end up winning, and he still might. He might pull out that golden shovel one more time and say, "Screw you, I'm going out as a winner." Who knows?
Oh yeah.
I think you save that for special occasions. Cena could be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to get technical, The Undertaker technically won his last match.
That's true.
I don't know if I forgot what the results were for his matches. After that,
well, because his last match was the match with AJ Styles, wasn't it? The graveyard match?
Yep. During COVID.
Then he hasn't wrestled since. He's shown up plenty of times, but he hasn't wrestled since.
Okay, so he was.
Wait.
Oh, I'm thinking of Shawn Michaels. That's what I was thinking of.
When was the Saudi Arabia? Was that before COVID? The Goldberg match?
That was before.
That's what I was thinking about. So okay, so he was yes. John Cena is an example where you could do that with. Not many people. I mean, technically, Stone Cold.
True. Yeah, with his match with KO. I know she's had matches since then, but her last real official match of her actual career, Trish Stratus, same thing. She won the championship and then she retired and left the championship. But of course, since then she's had multiple matches, but the end of her full-time run. So, like you said, it's rare. But I really just want to know who's going to be the winner of this tournament. And I know that I don't think everybody's been announced yet. I think maybe only half or 3/4 of the matches have been announced. So I don't know. We'll see.
TBD.
Yep.
All right, we're going to touch on this last topic before we hop over to some interesting, some cool stuff that John has to tell us. In a recent interview, and I guess the comments have been deleted, Chris Jericho had said on One Final Table. Wait a minute. What show is this on? On Talk is Jericho with Jeff and Matt. Oh, and the Dudleys. Oh, look at that. He pretty much said the crowd looked huge. It was like a WWE level crowd, I was watching this and not saying anything out of school here, but comparing it, watching Dynamite when they were at the ECW Arena, which looked like a Tony Condello taping. Sorry, it did. TNA looked like the second biggest company in the world.
Oh.
There's a lot of speculation as well that Jericho is going to be one of those mystery opponents for Cena. That he's going to make a return. If he doesn't do it during this, he might do it for the Rumble, which obviously won't have anything to do with Cena. But everybody is under the impression that Jericho is going to make his what would this be, his third or fourth return to WWE.
This is his first return to the company, since leaving WCW.
Well, I mean, he went away. Well, yes, technically, yes. But he's had a few times where he's left for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then comes back. But yeah, you're right. So this technically would be his official second return.
Which I think is a big deal.
Yeah,
still
absolutely.
A big deal.
Yeah.
Because beforehand in the the 2000s, 2010s, you'd leave the company and you wouldn't be seen. If you came back, cool. Nothing else existed.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Yeah, there was an instance in the early 2000s, probably 2005 or probably 2005, where Eric Bischoff fired him, Chris Jericho on screen, and then I think he returned 2007. I think.
Yep. Yeah, because I think he was going on tour with Fozzy, and he just went off and did that, and then that's when the whole cryptic "Save Us Y2J" thing happened, and
yes,
yep.
And that's when he had the Bon Jovi hair.
Yes.
Yep. I remember that. Yep. So yeah, this would be a big thing if this is it. The certainty of it is it seems like that's what's going to happen. Just the fact that he's been off TV since April, which is that's a long time, and I think Tony Khan is one of those people. He says, well, if he has the slightest bit of knowledge or a hunch that you're not going to be re-signing with him, then he will pay you to stay at home.
Yep.
And that seems like that's what's happening here. That he knows that that's probably what Chris is going to do, so he's not going to use his TV time for that.
Yep.
For somebody that's doing that.
Yeah, and I know I'm behind with AEW, but Big Bill and God, I just forgot the Bad Apple. I can't remember
Brian Keith.
Brian Keith.
Yeah, they haven't mentioned Jericho at all on television. Nothing. They're just going as a tag team, and that's the end of it. So it's just all right, if they're just forgetting that he's a thing, then it's pretty clear to me that Jericho's just going to sit out the rest of his contract, and then obviously probably find his way back to WWE.
Two things.
Yep.
Not that I would ever knock Jericho, but usually people who say that either have been like the statement here, because there's a lot of people in the business, especially somebody like Jericho who's been here for a while. There's a lot of them who just don't say anything bad.
Right.
Jericho had his gripes when he left the company, but he goes, no, Vince is like my buddy. He wouldn't let me do anything. All right, Vince, I'm just going to go do something else.
Yep.
It's interesting how he's like, the ECW shows didn't look like anything. This looked like the second biggest company in the world. That sounds like a bigger diss than anything he had said to Vince.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, A, is there bad blood? Or B, is this one of those scenarios where they're like, oh, yeah, we want to get as much good press with you as possible? I don't know. It's Jericho. You know, he's not wrong. First of all, I want to say he's not wrong. That TNA show is what we've been screaming for years.
Yep.
That's what they should look like. I'm going to hold on. I'll let you guys say what you want to say. I have a thought, and I think this would be pretty funny.
No, go ahead. I got nothing left for this.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to go back to what you were saying about Chris Jericho. And you know what Chris is good at? Being an asshole. Being a big asshole.
That's very true.
What if Chris comes back? People are going to have mixed feelings about this, but I'm going to say this. What if Chris comes back, beats Cena for the IC title, now has the IC title, and hey, I retired John Cena. It's going to blow up so many people's asses. But guess what? Me? I'm not a WWE talent. I'm a TNA guy.
All right.
You know, he's making his rounds. He's going around, you know. He's going to want to be where it's hot. And TNA is one place he hasn't been.
That is very true. That is a good point.
Mm.
That is a very good point.
Because I know Kenny and him had discussed when AEW was starting to get established, TNA was an option for those two.
Yep.
They were looking at TNA as a serious option.
That's right. I remember we talked about that way back when.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know. The next few months with the John Cena's retirement, where Jericho goes, obviously there's the stuff going on in Japan with Tanahashi. It'll be interesting next couple months.
Yeah.
So I know I'm going to leave the rest of this to John because John was just at Comic-Con this past weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, so I know you went. One of your things that you always do when you go to Comic-Con, I'm not like this. It depends. I've met The Fink. He was like $20 and he was by himself. And I'm like, hey, you know, have a photo with him. Which actually, I bring that up. That was like a day yesterday. That was like several years ago yesterday. Anywho, so you are big into the meet and greets, obviously. And then you would reach out to us, ask us if you wanted us to, if we wanted to ask anything. But anyway, I'll let you talk about Comic-Con, who you met, who you talked to.
Yeah. So we are a very good segue here because the person that I did happen to meet this past weekend was Chris Jericho. And he was one of those people I said, I gotta meet Chris Jericho. Like when's that gonna happen again? Especially if he's possibly going to be out of the WWE contract. I'm like, they're not gonna let him do this like in a couple of months.
That's true, yeah.
So I did meet Chris Jericho, and well, my friend Billy, I ran into him there as well, and he asked me. He said, "Oh, how was Chris? Was he as Sam just said earlier an asshole?" I said, "No." I said, "Chris, I talked to Chris for probably like 5 minutes or so. Like I was actually having like conversation with him, and it was wild." So I told him, I went up to him, I introduced myself, everything like that, and I said to him, I just wanted to tell you how impressed I've been with the stuff that you've been able to get over in your career, like the list, the little bit of the bubbly. I told him, and he said something to me like, yeah, he's like, it's crazy, like what you can get over. And like, if you believe in it enough and you make, people believe in it enough, like you'll get that stuff over. And he did with those things. Like, I can't say like how many times like Sam and I like reference the list or some stuff that he's done in his career.
Yep.
Stupid idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. Like that. And yeah, I told him that, and I also told him it was the first Monday Night Raw I ever went to was about 20 years ago in that same building. I told him, and I saw him wrestle a match with Maven Hoffman.
Nice.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, yeah, he squashed Maven. He won in about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
He put him in the walls of Jericho and submitted him.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that was February 2005, I think that Raw was. I told him that. He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember." Yeah, he's had a lot of matches. I don't know if you remembered that specific one. Um,
I think,
uh,
not to cut you off, but I think one of his books
yeah.
has like all of his matches in it.
Oh, that's right.
So it wouldn't surprise
So
me
he
if
might.
he didn't actually, if he did actually remember that.
Yeah, I think he said that he might have, he thought he was the world champion at that time. He wasn't. Not to like discredit him, but I only remember it because it was before WrestleMania 21 when Batista had just turned babyface, and he did the thumbs down thing the
Yeah.
week before to Triple H. So I know Triple H was the champion at that time. So that much I knew. But and then before I took the picture and everything like that, and then the last thing I asked him was the question that you guys asked. I asked him. I said, "Who was your favorite person to work with in AEW?" And he did name off a few names.
Nice.
The one that the first person he said was John Moxley.
Interesting.
Okay.
Because I think what I referenced to was like when John appeared at Double or Nothing, just when they were starting up, and confronted Chris and Kenny. But yeah, and I remember that feud pretty well. And yeah, and he was named off a few other people, like Orange Cassidy was another one he named off, and essentially how he really had to like double down on like stuff to do because they were performing in front of nobody too.
Right.
At that time.
Yeah.
So he referenced the Mimosa
Yes.
Madness match with and he kind of said how hard it was at that time with who he was feuding with at that time, like with performing in front of nobody, but they were able to do it.
Yeah.
They entertained people at that time. And that was I don't remember the rest of the names that he said. I remember those two. So I remember Moxley was the first one that he mentioned.
Nice.
All right.
And that was cool. Yeah, he talked to me for a while.
Because I know him and Kenny obviously.
He did say Kenny. Yeah. He did say him. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's one. Yeah.
So I feel like some people you get chemistry with them,
and
then it's like you could work with them all the time.
Yep.
Who was that? That was Ric Flair, or was it Sting? Was like that in WCW. There's somebody they just they could have just all the time.
Yes, Sting works well with anybody. Didn't matter who it was. I remember, yeah. Yep.
But he was really nice. He was really cool to talk to. I plugged the show to him.
Nice.
I told him about Above the Ring. So maybe he'll listen in at who knows at some point, but no, it was great.
I'm gonna get reached out to. It's like, hey, would you be interested in coming on Talking's Jericho? That'd be fun.
Oh my god,
yeah. that's a shoot, but like that'd be a lot of fun. Was that all you met? I thought you were meeting other people, or is it just all actors, actresses?
Wrestler. He was the one wrestler that I met. I also met. He was the one wrestler I met. I also met Juliet Lewis. I met her. She was cool. A couple people from Daredevil.
Nice.
Deborah Ann Wool. I met her, who plays Karen Page, and then Wilson Bethel, who plays Bullseye. And who else did I meet? Oh, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh.
From the Jurassic World movies and Spider-Man 3. And directed. I think she directed a few episodes of The Mandalorian.
Nice.
Yeah. yeah, and that was about it. It was fun.
No, that's good. That's
Yeah.
solid. Well, was there anything else you want to touch on, or we want to got a couple of weeks coming up, so I don't know. Want to call it, and then we can make sure we have good old Ethan with us. Hopefully next week.
Yeah, we got 3 straight weeks of pick shows to do along with ATR episodes. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit busier.
I was thinking we were gonna skip the last one since I'm gonna win it anyways.
Oh god damn it!
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was NXT shows. Oh man,
Hurts. It still hurts my soul. I don't know how this has been going on for 5 years now.
you keep that up. I'm sending another cold front down there.
That's right.
All right, guys. Well, before we get out of here, John, tell people where they can find you at.
I'm keeping the streak alive. It's one of the remaining streaks in wrestling. I am X-less or Twitterless.
I'm gonna
So
X-less. Got it.
yeah, so I'll remedy that situation at some point if I can. But otherwise, you can find me on my Facebook page where I do quick 1 minute, try to be a minute movie reviews called Lamped. I just put up a couple of reviews I think this week, so check that out. Yeah.
All right, and Scott, where can everyone find you at?
Pretty much everywhere is Scotty J Stream. We are getting ready for obviously the December 13th edition of Saturday Night's Main Event. So we will be live doing our live reactions again. John, thank you once again for joining the last time we had one of these. I'm hoping that for Cena's last match that all 3 or all 4 of us can do that. So that'll be a fun show. And then they announced another one for I think January 24th, I think. So yeah, we'll be back for those 2 as well. And yeah, that's about it.
And you can find me as the SLB Official on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X. We are on all streaming platforms. If we're not on there, let us know. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Tell people why Bedlam Media. I don't know why I almost said ship it. Bedlam Media and Above the Ring is the podcast if you're choosing, and where they should listen to us as well. Guys, thank you so much for listening. As always, do not forget to join the Bedlam.
Thanks, guys.